I don't even know where to start with this. I walked into jury duty the other day thinking I was participating in something honorable, something important. And ooh, honey, I walked out feeling like nobody in that building cared about justice or the jurors or honestly even the people whose lives were sitting on the line. And that bothered me more than I can even explain. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. I've heard people my whole life say that the system is corrupt, the courts don't care, everything's about money now. And honestly, part of me always thought maybe people were exaggerating a little bit. Until my first jury pool experience. All right, y'all. Let's get comfortable because we're about to talk about all the stuff you're afraid to say out loud for whatever reason. I've been a daughter, a mother, a grandmother, a wife, even a professional eye roller, and occasionally, probably the reason somebody might have needed some therapy. I've survived heartbreak, chaos, raising kids, getting older, losing people I loved, many people, and modern technology that still asks me for passwords I don't remember. I'm never going to remember them. One minute life is loud and messy and overwhelming, and the next thing you know, you're staring at old photographs, wondering where the years went. We're looking in a mirror, wondering who that old woman is. But around here, we tell the truth about life. The funny parts, the painful parts, and the questions maybe you've been too embarrassed to ask somewhere else. Because somewhere along the way, you started wondering if something was wrong with you. Oh, honey, you spend 10 minutes with me and you're going to realize just how normal you really are. Now, let's get into this mess. Hey there, mama bears and professional eye rollers. Well, apparently, my official welcome ceremony into things that make you lose faith in humanity happened this last month because for the first time in my life, I had jury duty. Now listen, I walked in there genuinely believing this mattered. Didn't matter what kind of case it was, it mattered. I'm patriotic, I love this country, I believe justice should matter. I still get emotional hearing the national anthem sometimes. I still love fireworks and baseball and backyard cookouts, little American flags, and Memorial Day parades, old hometown traditions, all things American. I still want to believe in the ideal of America. Not perfect America, I'm not delusional, but good America, fair America, the kind where ordinary people matter. And that courthouse did not feel like that one little bit at all. First of all, they packed all of us potential jurors into this giant room like abandoned cattle at an auction. No updates, no communication, no water, no lunch, no coffee, nothing. Just sitting there hour after hour wondering what was happening. And before somebody says, well, that's just how jury duty works. No. Basic human decency should still exist. It should. There were older people in there, myself included. People with medical issues, me also. People that were probably diabetic or anxious, people that were uncomfortable. Nobody checked on anybody with any kind of expediency or urgency. Nobody cared. We were literally told if you get hungry, you can go downstairs to the vending machine. The vending machine. Because apparently the wheels of justice are now fueled entirely by stale crackers and Diet Coke. Honestly. And the craziest part, They never even seated a jury. We sat there all day long only to be told, and there was probably about 80 of us, come back in 2 days. I'm going to tell you what. They were trying to plead down 14 cases to nothing, like it was some kind of competition. But the thing that really, really got under my skin was listening to how casually they discussed people's lives. That part bothered me deeply. Here's how they do it. They would come in here excited because they had pled down another case, then another, like it was some kind of game, then another. Started with 14 cases, like I said. Now they're down to 3. And everybody acting thrilled because they didn't know what they were there for, half of them, or how it was supposed to work. Sometimes they cheered like this was some kind of sales competition. Nobody seemed emotionally connected to the reality that these are human beings. Somebody's child, somebody's parent, somebody's future, maybe guilty, maybe not. But real lives with real consequences to the outcome of this. And the whole thing felt less like searching for truth and more like just moving inventory. And it's not supposed to be like that. You don't pressure people to take a plea. I understand plea deals exist for a reason. I understand the courts are overloaded. I understand not every case needs a dramatic trial. I'm not naive. But what disturbed me was how normal it all felt to everybody there for them to be pressuring people that did not want to take a plea, like the humanity had been drained out of the process completely, like efficiency mattered more than fairness. And I don't know, maybe that's what shook me up so much, because I think deep down, part of me still wanted to believe that justice was sacred. Now, some of y'all know that I have followed the Karen Reed case out of Boston, or near Boston, very closely. And no, I'm not turning this into a true crime channel, although I do love those. But cases like that strike a nerve with people for a reason. Because whether you think she's innocent or guilty, she was found not guilty, but anyway, people are terrified that systems can become more focused on protecting themselves than protecting truth. That fear is real. And sitting in that courthouse for the first time in my life, I understood emotionally why people feel that way. Honestly, it made me sad. Not angry. Well, angry too, but more sad. Because I miss believing things worked the way they were supposed to. I miss believing that institutions care, or people have integrity and fairness matters, and ordinary citizens aren't just numbers being processed through a machine. And maybe that sounds old-fashioned now. Maybe I am old-fashioned. So be it. But I don't think wanting dignity and fairness should be considered unrealistic. I sure don't think that it's okay to not follow the law in a courthouse and pressure people. And you know what hit me the hardest? It wasn't the boredom. It wasn't the waiting. It wasn't even the chaos or the lack of food and lack of water for hour after hour. It was the feeling that everybody had become emotionally disconnected from each other. The jurors, the defendants, the workers, everybody exhausted and detached and just trying to survive the day. Nobody even looking anybody in the eye anymore. Probably not 5 people out of the 70 or 80 people were even talking to each other. Nobody's slowing down long enough to remember that these systems were created for people. Maybe that's why so many Americans feel uneasy now. Not because we hate our country, but because we love it enough to feel disappointed when it doesn't live up to what it's supposed to be. There's a difference. I wondered what them people said when the judge asked them if they'd made that decision to take a plea of their own free will. It's a huge difference now. I still believe in this country. I still believe that most people are good. I still believe that fairness matters. But this cracked something open in me just a little bit, I think. Because I really did walk into that building expecting justice. And I walked out realizing how easily human beings can become paperwork. And maybe that's why people are so emotionally exhausted now. Everything feels rushed and processed and automated and transactional and disconnected, even justice. And honestly, if I'm ever on trial, y'all better send snacks and emotional support, because apparently that vending machine is carrying the whole judicial system on its back here in Stevens County, Georgia. It was pathetic. But seriously, I think we all need to start remembering there are human beings sitting underneath all these systems. There are real repercussions. Human beings that are scared and struggling and grieving and waiting and hoping and trusting strangers with pieces of their lives. That should matter. Meanwhile, Grammie Tammy's going to be over here trying to hold on to the version of America where fairness still matters, wondering when everything started feeling so cold and disconnected, and praying that we can somehow find our way back to treating people like human beings instead of case numbers. And of course, I'm going to have a cold Diet Coke, a tired soul, and enough love for this country left to still expect better. Do better. It was shameful what I witnessed. Shameful. Thank you for listening to my rant today. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
what you think, I don't wanna be. No filter, no fuss, no let me be nice. She said what she said, and she said it twice. She ain't here to play.